Did you know that the New Testament Book of Jude quotes an ancient prophecy that believe originated from the patriarch Enoch, the man who walked so closely with God that he never tasted death? It's rarely discussed in common Sunday readings, but it stands as a hint of Enoch's extraordinary spiritual influence far beyond the book of Genesis. Welcome to The Faithful Scribe, where we dive deep into hidden gems of Scripture and illuminate stories that shape our faith today. In this episode, we'll unravel the life of Enoch, a figure so mysterious that only a handful of verses in Genesis chronicle his days on earth. Yet, his impact resonates loudly, echoing through later texts and capturing the imaginations of believers. Throughout this video, we'll journey from Enoch's lineage in the line of Adam to the moment he is taken up by God, an event both awe-inspiring and baffling. We'll consider how Enoch's devotion, seemingly ordinary at first glance, transcended human limitations, revealing a pathway of unwavering dedication to the Creator. Prepare to be captivated by one of the Bible's shortest yet most profound stories. Let's embark on this quest to discover how a simple walk with God can transform eternity. Biblical genealogies can often feel like mere lists of names, but in the line descending from Adam to Noah, one name stands out: Enoch. Genesis 5:21-24 tells us that at 65, Enoch became the father of Methuselah. And then something extraordinary happened. He is said to have walked with God for 300 years. The text is intriguingly concise, leaving many to wonder how Enoch's daily life reflected such closeness to the divine. Were there special prayers, spiritual insights, or acts of devotion that set him apart? Though the Bible offers few details, the brevity itself ignites our imagination. Could it be that Enoch's unwavering faith influenced the moral fabric of his generation, or that his example quietly anticipated the future heroes of faith listed in Hebrews 11? One thing is certain: Enoch's relationship with God carried him through a turbulent era, forging a bond so profound that he famously never tasted death, at least in the conventional sense. If you find stories like Enoch's enthralling, make sure you subscribe to The Faithful Scribe now. By joining our community, you'll be the first to explore hidden treasures in Scripture and learn what they mean for us today. After all, who wouldn't want to encounter the transformative power of a life walked hand in hand with the Creator? Subscribe and stay tuned. In exploring Enoch's world, we must remember the broader context. This was a time of mounting human corruption, setting the stage for the cataclysmic flood that Noah would later survive. Enoch's devotion stands in stark contrast to the moral decline around him. Though Scripture doesn't detail how he confronted societal evils, his steadfast faith shines through, suggesting that even in a decaying culture, it's possible to walk uprightly with God. Some ancient writings outside the standard biblical canon, notably the Book of Enoch, paint him as a visionary who received revelations about heavenly realms and angelic beings. While these texts aren't part of our traditional Scripture, they offer a glimpse into how subsequent generations revered Enoch's piety and considered him an exemplary seeker of divine truth. Whether we accept these accounts as literal or symbolic, they underscore the magnetic pull of Enoch's legacy. Imagine the whispered rumors that might have circulated among his neighbors. Who was this man who lived so differently, claiming an intimacy with God? Perhaps they saw a quiet strength in Enoch, unshaken by the growing darkness in the land. His life becomes a beacon, demonstrating that one person's unwavering commitment to righteousness can stand against even the most corrupt and perilous of times. His walk remains a model for all who seek moral clarity under pressure. Genesis 5:24 contains one of the most mysterious statements in the Bible. Enoch was not, for God took him. These words suggest a departure unlike any other recorded in Scripture, prefiguring Elijah's whirlwind ascent centuries later. Did Enoch simply vanish from the earth, transported directly into God's presence? The text offers no elaboration, fueling centuries of speculation. Some early Jewish commentators viewed this as a profound reward for a life of holiness, while Christian theologians often cite it to exemplify unwavering faith. In Hebrews 11:5, the writer reaffirms that Enoch never experienced death because he pleased God. This clue deepens the enigma, hinting that his walk with the Almighty reached such intensity that physical constraints no longer bound him. Yet the Bible leaves the details unspoken. No angels appear with flaming chariots. No grand farewell is described, just the simple statement that Enoch was no more. Such brevity encourages each generation to ponder the possibilities. Was Enoch granted a foretaste of resurrection life centuries before Jesus? Did his intimate fellowship with God create a unique bridge between heaven and earth? As we contemplate these questions, we're reminded that God's ways can transcend our assumptions. Enoch's departure stands as a testament to the boundless potential of a life wholly aligned with the Creator's heart. Few stories invite awe across so few verses. Another aspect often overlooked is Enoch's potential role as an early spiritual mentor to future generations, including Noah. Because he lived until Methuselah reached adulthood, Enoch very likely passed on revelations about God's character and the value of consistent devotion. This would have created a familial legacy of faith that shaped Noah's worldview, helping him stand firm against a culture soon to be judged by the flood. Still, Enoch's significance doesn't end with the Book of Genesis. Jude 1:14-15 references a prophecy attributed to him, warning of judgment on ungodly deeds. Many readers skip over this brief mention, unaware that it offers a rare glimpse of Enoch's enduring influence deep into Israel's history and the early Christian era. The idea that Enoch pronounced divine warnings resonates with his image as someone who walked intimately with God, fully aware of moral accountability in a fallen world. For centuries, theologians and lay people alike have wrestled with these scattered references, piecing together a portrait of an individual whose extraordinary fidelity set him apart. Enoch's story becomes a clarion call, challenging us to live with unwavering purpose. If he could pursue righteousness amid a turbulent society, how much more are we encouraged to do the same in our own age? His example reminds us that God notices every faithful step. Enoch's life still resonates. One of the most enduring lessons from Enoch's life is the power of a single individual's communion with God. In an age creeping toward the cataclysm of the flood, Enoch stood apart, a harbinger of hope amid spiritual decline. His example teaches that even in a toxic environment, a steadfast relationship with the Almighty can bring life-changing revelation. Yet Enoch's narrative also prompts us to ask deeper questions about what it truly means to walk with God. Is it a set of religious routines, or does it transcend daily rituals to permeate every thought, decision, and action? Enoch's story suggests the latter. His faith wasn't relegated to mere duty. It became an ongoing journey of divine intimacy that defied the pull of a decadent world. Furthermore, Enoch's removal from Earth ignites discussion about life beyond our limited horizon. Whether seen as an early sign of divine favor or a foreshadowing of eternal fellowship, it underscores that walking in harmony with God carries implications stretching beyond mortality. In essence, Enoch's life stands as a testament that what we do here reverberates in realms unseen. Far from being an obscure name in a genealogy, Enoch emerges as a paragon of devotion whose influence spans centuries of biblical narrative and theological reflection. Countless believers find inspiration in Enoch's steadfast walk, generation after generation. Enoch's story, though concise, leaves a lasting imprint on the tapestry of Scripture. In a world speeding toward chaos, Enoch chose reverence over rebellion. His unwavering bond with God granted him a path that transcended the finality of death itself, revealing eternity. Across generations, believers revisit Enoch's example as proof that a devoted heart can break through every barrier, drawing ever closer to the divine. We've explored how Enoch's life stands as a beacon, a man who quietly reshaped the spiritual climate around him, influenced his descendants, and offered a glimpse into dimensions beyond mortal boundaries. His walk reminds us that genuine faith is not merely a momentary spark, but a constant journey of trust, obedience, and profound wonder. Through Enoch, we see the possibility that each day can become a sacred pilgrimage, guided by the invisible hand of God. Thank you for joining the faithful scribe on this enlightening voyage into one of the Bible's most intriguing figures. As you reflect on Enoch's life, may you find encouragement to deepen your own relationship with God, daring to walk faithfully, even when the path seems unclear. After all, Enoch's story proves that true devotion resonates far beyond the limitations of time.